Okay, so we are talking about Beanstack, and we have pointed to the survey in the Youth Services meeting agenda. The survey is due by December 23rd of 2022. I am recommending that Youth Services Librarians be the representative from your library for filling out the survey. And please let the state know in the survey that you're starting to plan for summer library program for 2023 full calendar year, and that it's important that we know if the application, if Beanstack is going to be available after that. Okay, and I will contact DPI tomorrow. I have a meeting with them tomorrow anyway, so I'll bring that up. And this is kind of one of the big things I wanted to talk to them. So I will put that in our notes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for bringing it up, everybody, Nicole and Helen. So Sean will chat. Okay. Anything else about Beanstack? Go ahead, Helen, please.
My colleagues who are the circulation, library assistants one, um, they're amazing. But when I came on board, they told me that they really don't like Beanstack because they felt it was too user unfriendly. It was not friendly for users. This year, I think it went a little bit better. But I'm not sure what it was like prior to this year, but I don't know if you like, did you guys yourselves train your colleagues in using Beanstack or just give them a how-to guide? Like, maybe you have advice so that I can get them more behind this. I'm also happy to just be the one really adding people in and updating files. We're smaller libraries. We don't have a ton of traffic like that, but yeah. So they've been very vocal and very verbal about not liking Beanstack. That's something else they'd be open to. I'm a big fan of Beanstack. I've enjoyed it. I don't want to see it go away, but how can I get them more behind this? So, and I'm open to that offline too. Just if you have tips. I'm Helen in Columbus, so feel free to send them over. Thanks.
Jess has some great information in the chat that staff is catching on. So it sounds like, it has been a process in Reedsburg as well. We use it year round now, so they can stay fresh on using it to redeem prizes. And in Reedsburg, Jess does not have them add readers. One thing that I have on my list of 2023 ideas is to contact our representative over at Beanstack and asking them to do a presentation specifically for us or being available at one of these youth services meetings. And I was thinking about, I go on vacation actually, but next week, you all should know, I'm not going to be around for the last 2 weeks of the year, but I thought I would send an email over to Beanstack this week and ask for of their availability as I set the new meetings for 2023. But I guess that really depends on what the DPI decides to go ahead and do as well. So I was thinking that if somebody from Beanstack, Rebecca, that is the name of our rep, if Rebecca is able to join us at a meeting, it can be, questions and answers. Maybe she can, give a little overview and we can talk about the questions that you all have. I'll put that as
That would be great, Sean. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, just bear with me while I put that down in the notes. And I'm wondering if that's even something, we could figure out some, like bean stack for supporting staff or something. And I don't use it, so I'm looking to all of you who use it for your guidance, so we can move ahead. All right. Moving forward, the second item I have on our list is AccuCut and Ellison dies. So I have a few things to talk about there. I will put the list that I have right now. I don't have a lot of recommendations from library staff, so I haven't ordered anything yet, but I need to order it by the end of the week. So you will see it's linked to the agenda, and I'm putting it right here in the chat, a link to the list so far. And these primarily have come from Andrea in Monroe, who recommended these dies to be added to the 2023 rotating collection. So at the end of every year, I spend out my budget by buying as many AccuCut and Ellison dies as I can afford. And a lot of you are really great about sending me those 50% coupon notifications. So thanks for that. I think I still have one that's good through the end of the year. Right now, we only have AccuCut recommendations. What happens with these AccuCut dies is that they rotate throughout the system in the early part of the year. And what we often do is we purchase dies that you recommend that might be supportive of the upcoming theme of the summer library program. So you can see that Andrea suggested like a heart jigsaw puzzle, for example, and a house. So some of those, all together now supporting themes, items, but I have money to buy more. So I'm going to purchase these dies on Friday. If you have thoughts about other dies that we could use, please send them to me by Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. And I will place that order on Friday. The other thing is that I have a stack of AccuCut dies. I'm pointing as if you could see them here in my office. I have a stack of dies that were in this year's rotating collection that need homes. At the beginning of next year, I thought I could get it done before the end of this year, but I won't. At the beginning of next year, I'll be sending out like a Google spreadsheet with a list of all of those dies, as well as a bunch of dies from Monona that they have donated to us, that are available to anybody in the system to request and to make them your own, to house them at your location, with the idea that they still are shareable. So they are your dies, they're housed at your library and they're for you to use, but they are still available to borrow through LinkCat. And I rarely, go into the staff side of LinkCat, and I especially did not go into the cataloging side of LinkCat. So I had to check with my colleagues here, Amy and Heidi and Kayla, about how do we first request dies. And Helen, I know you and I have been talking a bit about this, as well as how do we catalog them. So I checked with them yesterday. I had them look at my agenda for today's meeting, to ask them the best way to put holds on dies. So in today's agenda, I have instructions for doing that. You have to be signed into the staff side of the catalog. This is only something that, especially the dies that are purchased through South Central, that patrons are unable to put holds on them from the patron side of things. We want to keep them because they're, have those little sharp bits and pieces in them. We want to keep them in the library, so you can request them for your own use. You could request them for a scrapbooking program that you do with patrons at your library. That's absolutely fine, but we really don't want them going out into patrons' homes. But Heidi tells me that there are some libraries who have kits that circulate that have dies. So take a look at the agenda for the instructions about how to know whether or not they're available for patrons. And you can let me know if you have questions, and I'll pass them on to the ILS team. One of my main goals for very early in 2023 is to clean up especially the programming resources page on the Youth Services website. And there's a really old list of AccuCut dies on that page that hasn't been updated. And it hasn't been updated because the most up-to-date list is going to be the catalog. And I'll be talking more or sending out more reminders throughout next year about how to search the catalog to look for the dies and to see what is available. It really is an inefficient use of my time to try to grab dies as I see them come in. A lot of libraries purchase dies, and there is linking information about how to add those materials to your collection in the agenda. Anything else about AccuCut dies? Let me make sure that I have.
Sorry to be such a question person.
It's all right.
So I don't know if this would ever be possible to get like an image of what the die cut then looks like. Like I just found one for a generic die snowboarder. Your directions were excellent. I just logged in.
Heidi's directions were excellent. Thank you.
Heidi's directions were excellent. Thanks, Heidi. But like there's no way to see what what's a pentomino, like there's
Yeah.
pentominos or a tent, if there was ever and I'm sure that if I just called over to the library and said, hi, any chance you could snap a quick photo of what that looks like, I'm sure they'd be happy to, but people are busy. I don't know.
Helen, if you just Google it on the AccuCut site, you can usually, that's what I do all the time. And usually the names in the catalog are accurate and match what's on the AccuCut site. So
Thank you. I'm glad I asked.
pretty well.
Sorry to have questions. Thank
No.
you. You have answers. Yay. Thanks.
No, if
I
you
will
have
do
the
that.
question, somebody else does. And that's what Jess does in Reedsburg too. And that's right. Amy did tell me that the item number is in the record. So as Nicole said, the item number and name is in the record, so you can search that way too. That's something I know that people have asked for, and a zillion years ago I tried to do it, and it just was, once again, it was one of those things that was really hard to keep track of. What I do every year is when we have the final list of the purchases that we're making, I share a Google document that links to the dies. So it's not the same as having it in the catalog, but at least you can see what's coming for the current year. Okay. Are there other ways that you use the dies? Are there some innovative ways? Some of the dies that Andrea has suggested are 3D AccuCut dies. So I think those are fun. It's more than a name tag if it's a 3D cactus, for example. Are there innovative ways that you're using them in make and take and make kits, for example, that you want to share? Go ahead, Helen.
I'm not great at the chat and this, but I was able to use the dinosaur ones for a take and make STEAM activity. A brontosaurus, a stegosaurus, and a pterodactyl, I believe it still was, not a pteron. And so I cut it out in black paper and then sent them home with Q-tips to make skeletons on it. So that was really, really helpful to have the die cut for that project.
Thank you. Patty from Cambridge, mostly for decorations and crafts. Um, Jess, they have a machine in the library and they let them use the dyes in the library. Yep, that's a really great idea. Teachers, homeschool moms, quilters. Oh yeah, quilting, they cut fabric. Cool. Etc. Really appreciate that. Oh, cool. Makes me want to make some appliques, Jess. And we have sewing machines in the maker kits. So I will add that, a link to requesting the sewing machines for those of you who have quilters. They can, cut out some fabric, cut out some applique shapes using AccuCut, and you can have a quilting program too. A quilting show. You can have a quilting show too. Okay. So, yeah, send me your ideas because I want to get things that you all are going to be able to use. Okay. Now I have that we can do our round robin of just, talking about what's going on in your library, or if you have any questions, anything exciting, any programs that you want to share. As we do our round robin, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from, and so we can start getting to connect faces to places. Is there somebody who wants to go first? Thanks, Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty in Cambridge. We have our annual Graham Cracker House program on Thursday. We're going to have some carolers. So we haven't had it in a while with COVID. So it's usually a pretty popular program. And we have our Friday Flicks on Friday. We'll be showing the Top Gun movie. That's what's going on in Cambridge.
Thank you.
Oh, we do have a story walk going on too. This book, A World of Cookies for Santa, has Santa going to all different countries. So we have the pages, just on Main Street. And
Sounds perfect. And put that in the notes. Thank you, Patty. Other Robins. Oh, Grace, go ahead. Oh, thank you, Grace.
Oh, is Grace leaving? Oh, okay. Should I go ahead?
Sure, go ahead, Catherine.
Okay. My mic was turned up there. Is that better?
Much
All
better.
right, so we have a yoga story time coming up on Thursday. And then I'm working on a tween book club. We're reading The First Rule of Punk. And this book has, a lot of zines in it. So we're going to do a little zine making activity. But I will say that for my programs right now, I'm having a really hard time getting participation. People kind of disappear in December. I wonder if some of you find that the case. No, not so much, Nicole? Yes, Portage. Okay, that's it from Cross Plains.
Thank you. Go ahead, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole from Portage County Public Library in Stevens Point. And we've got our annual gingerbread house program coming up next week, which we haven't done in 3 years. and it's always one of the biggest programs for us. So I've been diligently washing out milk cartons. We are starting up a brand new Pokemon club in January, and we're going to have a couple just like informational sessions for beginners during winter break. So we're working on that. And my book club, which is for adults and teens, it runs year round, but right now at the end of the year, we always try to guess what the Prince winner is going to be. So we're reading 2 books, and we'll kind of argue, I guess, if we think either one of those would be good contenders. That's mostly it for us. And our numbers have been really good, except for those evening programs. I don't know if you guys have this, but we have patrons that ask for like after work programs. And whenever we do it, we can never get anyone to show up for them regularly. So our 4:30 story time will be moved back down to 10:30 a.m.
So we want to know what books you're reading for the Prince.
So I always try to research it and figure it out, and it is so hard. There's not much information out there, but these are the 2 we landed on this year. So Rust in the Root by Justina Ireland and This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. But I'm also listening to the new Ruta Sepetys, and I kind of think that has a better chance than at least one of these.
I read the new her new book earlier this year. I want to go back to it as well because it was very amazing. Thanks for reminding me of that. We have some more chat going on. So take a look. We have some information from Jess, whose mic isn't making, that they take a break in December because attendance is low. I remember doing that in lacrosse too, that we often took a break from programs because it was such a slow month. Let's see, we just started a multi-age play group for children of all ages after school. Very cool. And the second one is next Monday. So we're all going to cross our fingers for you and keep going with it, because we know December is a slow month or can be busy. Helen from Columbus, you're changing story time to playtime for 3 weeks in December. Good for you. And January, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, juice boxes and snack. So we have some great things going on in the chat that I will add to in our notes. Jess says, yep, our weekend and evening programs never get the big attendance, even though people request them. Crystal and Belleville are having a special cookie themed story time on Friday. And in January, you're going to 2 times a week and a Tinker Tuesday. Oh, that's right, in your new makerspace. Great. Thank you, Katrina or Crystal.
So I'm Ann Vickman from Portage Public Library, and I discovered last week at my story time that little kids don't like hot cocoa, because I thought it'd be fun to give them hot cocoa, and they all looked at it like, what is this? So that was an eye-opening experience. And this afternoon we are doing a Sphero program. We got the Spheros from SCLS. And so we're having 3rd through 5th graders come in. That's not really holiday related, but we're giving it a try. So I also had received them last week, and there was a teen program happening at the library last week. So I took the Sphero down there before they started their teen program, and I asked them if they knew what it was, if they had ever seen a Sphero. And they were like, no. One of them thought it was a Christmas ornament. I said, no. So I was trying to drum up some business, because I said I can get these back and we could do a program for teens. And so I think I have some of them interested. So I'm going to request them to come back. And so I'll try it with the teens as well. And then we have last month we had families disguise a gingerbread man that we gave them, so they're all out there this month to get votes on who had the best disguised gingerbread man. Those are kind of the things that are happening, and yes, our attendance is way up and down. I mean, the kids, some of them have been gone and they'll come back and they'll say they were sick, or you know, things are already going on for the holidays. So
Yeah, just as things start to feel normal again, we're seeing numbers rise in some of the counties. And Brooke doesn't have a camera or a mic, but in New Glarus, Brooke just had their first in-person story times this month. Congratulations, it's a big deal. And so far, so good. And attendance is trickling back. You also take a program break, and this is their last week of programming until mid-January. Zuzort was out for a program on a day that the school district was closed, and it was the biggest program attendance we've had so far. Yay! Yes, I second Jess's reaction. That's great. Other news, other program. So moving ahead on the agenda, if something comes up, feel free to let us know. We still have some time. One, I put collection development, new books. It's kind of one of those standing agenda items that I have on our meeting list now. Nicole got us started out, kicked off a discussion about what she and her book club are reading for teen books. This is the time of year when we're starting to see the end of year, best of the year book list. I'm not seeing as many as I thought I would, but maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. They'll probably be coming out the next couple of weeks, and certainly in January. Share those lists with us on Teen Talk or Kids List. We do have a very informal Book Bites program this Friday at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to introduce some books that I started reading over the last week. They're mostly picture books right now. Look for some novels and young adult books too, and maybe some nonfiction, but I'm looking for cozy. So I kind of am centering my discussion on Friday, my book talks on cozy books, but please know that this is for everybody to talk about books. If you have some great titles that you're reading, or if you have questions about books, Friday is your time at 11, and it's just a very informal, we really don't have an agenda. It's just a very informal time to connect and talk about books, either that you're reading, that you're using in programs or story times. And I really want to, if you have a book club meeting before then, Nicole, I really want to hear about how things are going or what your discussions have been about. We have other ways of supporting collection development. Tomorrow morning, we have a live webinar from 9 to 9:30 with librarians from the CCBC. It's the monthly CCBC Shorts webinar. If you can't attend live at 9 o'clock, don't worry, because those are always recorded and posted shortly after with the book list of titles that the CCBC librarians discuss. Tomorrow's theme is best new fiction, I think. Yes, new fiction. New fiction. I don't know if it's, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's a new fiction that they will be discussing. And that should always be a fun one. And I've also linked to the CCBC Shorts archive. We're getting those CCBC Shorts webinars set up for 2023, as well as the annual CCBC Shorts Great Books for younger children, school age, and teens. And we generally have those workshops in their webinars in the spring of March, about March, April. And those are longer, those are an hour long, and it is a retrospective. So looking at books that were published in the previous year that they have included in the annual CCBC Shorts publication that now is online. Oh, I'm going to link to that. I'll link to that in the notes. I forgot to do that. Everything is available online all the years that CCBC Choices has been published. So there is a wonderful database. What else? I am spending a good deal of time. I didn't really put this as an agenda item, but working on intellectual freedom. If you have intellectual freedom questions or concerns, I'm the system's intellectual freedom contact. And we have some webinars in the works and some other programs in the works for 2023, either looking at collection development policies, maybe having some people come in and talk on webinars. We had the CCBC librarians presented at the Youth Services program in November at the Olbrich Gardens. Those are linked. The documents are linked to the South Central Library System's Summer Library Program page. And I'll put that in right now. As well as I presented the Early Literacy SLP program webinar. So what that is ideas using next year's summer library program theme for young children. And I linked to the slides, recording, and handout for that program as well on the SLP page. And I just shared it in the chat. Know that this is something that I will keep updating as we create materials. The manual is available. I have instructions for how you can get to the manual for 2023. And we can talk more about that next year if we have any questions. Now we have a few minutes to talk about that too. I'm looking ahead to continuing ed for 2023 professional development. If there are some topics that are on your mind that you would like me to explore and look for some presenters to talk about, let me know. Next couple of months, I'm going to be really looking at that. With Jean Anderson, I'll be doing a little bit more work with the continuing education programs in 2023. So I'm looking to create, a program that fits everybody's needs. One of the programs that we have, another annual program, is the Teen Tween Workshop, which is usually in the spring of the year. We don't have that on the books yet, but we will. The last few years that has been a webinar. We have had that in person before COVID. It was usually in Wisconsin Dells. And I'm not sure what we're doing this year. I'm thinking a webinar perhaps, but give me some feedback on that if you have any input on, would you like to get together in the spring? And I'll take that to Jean as our continuing education consultant. All right, let me make sure looks like I was putting notes on the agenda. That's all right. I will be updating that. We will continue to have check-in meetings. I'm thinking it'll continue to be the second Tuesday. It's the second Tuesday. Yeah, the second Tuesday at 1 o'clock of the month. All months except for a couple of summer months in November. So we'll be meeting again in January. And that's something I need to do before I leave on vacation too, is get those meetings set. We do have one program set for 2023, and that is the annual youth programming workshop at Olbrich Gardens will be held on Thursday, November 9th of 2023. So if you have your new calendars, pop that in the calendar and let me know if you have speaker recommendations, topic ideas, and we'll start planning that soon this year as well. I have a new message. Webinars always work best for Catherine. I'm finding that more and more too. Yeah, Nicole. Okay, that's really good input. Thank you. Oh, the other thing I need to put at collection development, I still have a lot of books coming in. So let me know if you want books for giveaways at your library. If you want me to send you a box of books, I'm going to be sending some books out this week too. So I will link to the Google form where you can let me know if you want books, the 2021, and I'll be sending out a bunch of the 2022 books too. Or just drop me an email. I can send them out that way. Let me know if you want a mix, if you want picture books, if you want young adult books. I have a lot of young adult books. I have a lot of picture books right now too. So I'll update the notes with the link to that Google form, or feel free to just send me an email. I'm hoping to get a bunch out right now. And Helen's already letting me know, yes, my winter book program is coming up. Super. Yeah, thank you for that. All right. Are there any final thoughts? If not, I really enjoyed working with everybody this year. I look forward to 2023. We've got a great group of people. I loved seeing folks in November at our in-person meeting, and I love seeing everybody at these meetings too. So keep the ideas rolling and coming my way. Let me know how I can support you in any ways. All right. Bye, everybody. Go enjoy some gingerbread and sugar cookies. Bye.